I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast. And every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere in your car. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars. Make the most of this night. Come on, baby, take my hand. And we don't need to do the things we don't want to do. Baby, while we're
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to AMD Presents the Esports Club Showdown Valorant powered by Red Bull. I'm Floki. Joining me for this one's going to be Fet. We got a very interesting best of three lined up today. The final upper bracket match, after which we're going to have the grand finals and the lower bracket finals tomorrow. So, yeah, the tournament about to close in. Fed stakes getting higher and higher, and it's going to be Paper X going up against Alter Ego.
Yep, and this is one of the Clash of the Titans, the top billing. Two teams from Singapore facing each other off in the upper bracket or the winners bracket, vying for a position directly in the grand finale, if I'm not mistaken. And well, the loser of this match still has a lifeline. They can make that. They will be able to make their way to the finale if they can beat Louvre, who just earlier today beat Velocity Gaming in a 2 a closely contested 2 mind, to secure their position in the lower bracket finals. So yeah, this is the top billing, Paper X versus Alter Ego. Well, this is gonna be rather explosive game of Valorant. I think it is shaping up to be one of those games where both
Yeah.
teams will be looking for the W and making sure that they don't have to go through another hoop to make their way to the grand finals.
Absolutely. I feel like this is a situation where if you're alter ego, you're just praying that you're able to get your own map pick, in the bag. You're able to at least get that map, so you have some breathing room against Paper X, because Paper X is not really going to be showing you any mercy. These guys have been to Masters. They've played against the best in the world. These guys know their stuff when it comes to Valorant, and if you want to beat them, you better have done your homework twice, and you might have just have woken up early in the morning just to make sure you revise and yeah, have an idea how you're going to be approaching this match, because it's not going to be an easy one for sure. Paper X is the team to beat if you've been in this tournament. But does Alter Ego actually have what it takes, considering that they're a roster that has just recently been overhauled with 5 new players coming into the mix, going up against 5 players that have been together for quite a long time now?
True, but then again, there's that new blood, that honeymoon period. When you bring in 5 players and then they just feel like they're world beaters and they just completely dominate whatever competition comes their way. And it also plays into the fact that the opposition won't know much about this five playing together, right? Because
Yeah.
there's that uncertainty factor of a new team. What will they do? What won't they do? We don't really know. Uh, but yeah, Alter Ego, they need to bring their A game because they're going up against the Kings, and when you take a shot at the King, you best not miss. Like that's about it. Like um Paper X, they've got their crowns to protect. They are the tournament favorites. And as you can see, like this team is completely stacked. Forsaken, uh man, this guy is nutty,
Oh, yeah.
completely and utterly cracked. And then you have Benkai and Davai. These guys are like veterans from the SEA CS:GO scene. Mind Freak, Shiba, Jing. We've seen them. These guys are insane. This is such a stacked lineup. Like they have 6 players who can rotate in and out of the lineup and just
Mhm.
dominate whoever comes their way.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's one thing having a really good 5 man roster, but then to have a really good 6 man roster, now that gives you so many more options to work with. And every single one of these players is just absolutely insane. Of course, Benkai and Forsaken are the first few ones that initially strike the eye, because I'm quite sure everyone who's been watching, or following at least competitive Counter Strike since its olden days is gonna know who these guys are. But
Yeah.
Mind Freak, Jing, Shiva, Davai, all of these players are also really, really good in their own right, and nothing to be taken away from them. They are also a big part of Paper X, and yeah, if you want to beat Paper X, then well, you best have dotted your I's and crossed your T's, because Paper X, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, possibly the game.
Yep,
This
like
is what it is, true
these
strong.
guys are no mercy. These guys are all business, all day, every day. They just come out the gate swinging, and they seldom miss, dude. Like these guys, they're insane at this game. And Alter Ego, I mean, like you said, they're a new lineup, they're a new team. Um, they'll need to bring everything that they've got. Uh, Nothing can be left on reserve. And yeah,
Yeah,
there we go. This is the new Alter Ego lineup. You have Moji, you have Enable, Julio, Julio Leo. I like that
yep.
name. Delb, Kush, and Nats. Oh, another 6 man roster. Lots of 6 man rosters, but none that are 7. Velocity still has the crown in that regards. But yeah, unfortunately, we won't be seeing more from the Indian rosters in the remainder of this tournament. But the Valorant that we'll be getting to watch will just be top tier, top notch competition, just peak FPS on display.
Absolutely, yeah. Alter Ego, PaperX, Louvre, probably some of the best teams in the Southeast Asian region, and they're going to be going at each other's throats. Now, Alter Ego, of course, have a lot to prove considering that they're a new roster. A win against PaperX could really boost their confidence up high, considering that they're a new roster. But then again, one must be a realist. One must keep themselves grounded in reality and ask, well, when you're going up against PaperX, do you actually have what it takes to beat a team that has been to Masters and has faced the likes of teams like Gambit and Ascend and all those big dogs?
Yeah, and also like so far, like I was watching the PaperX games in the Esports Club Showdown presented by AMD, and it's not been like PaperX have been pulling out the strat book or leafing through pages trying to figure out what the opponents are doing. They've it's been fairly straightforward for them. They get into the server, they do their thing, and then they just leave. And they leave with their oppositions decimated, lying dead and decaying in the dust. And that is the kind of firepower and the kind of presence that they have in the server. These guys are the real deal. And Alter Ego, like we've both been stressing over and over again, will need to hunker down, batten down the hatchets, and give it their all.
Yeah, they need to plant their feet firmly into the ground and just make sure that they can survive the onslaught that's going to be PaperX. Because Alter Ego, I imagine that they're also going to go into this a little bit realistically. I'd love it if they go into this with full confidence, being like, we know we can beat PaperX. We think we've got it. We can do it. That's obviously a good place to come from. But yeah, PaperX, like we've talked about earlier, is not a team that just even looks at these teams and feels like there's a lot of competition here. No, they really are not going to respect anyone in this tournament until they've been given a reason to. Until someone actually takes a map off of them. And right now, the way these guys are playing the game, it's with poker faces all around. I don't think it's a game that they're really very stressed about, something that really bothers them when they're actually in the server. No, these guys just pop in, they do their thing like you've mentioned, and they get out. It's not even it's not even competitive for them. It's just a regular Wednesday. But you
Yeah,
never know.
I
Given the
mean,
fact that Alter Ego's a
true.
new roster, they could do some work here.
See, that's the beauty of esports. It's the beauty of FPS is that or any competitive multiplayer game is that it's a team-based game, and if all five players on that day are feeling it, no matter who you're facing up against, you will come out on top. And there've been so many Cinderella stories across the storied history of esports that you kind of always tend to favor the underdogs. Like I think it's just the thing. Like I always in the back of my mind knowing uh yes, the numbers and the stats and context and history be damned, but if there is a dark horse, if there is an underdog playing, my heart will always be cheering them on, because this just makes for better storylines, man. It's just better for storytelling. And I think the epitome of that was, yeah, man, TI9. I always
Oh
go back to that. That's I think that's the highlight of everything esports, is that one tournament and that one OG victory. But yeah, my romanticism for this, for the games, for esports, comes from these Cinderella stories, from these dream runs, from these unexpected turn of events. And hey, man, I'm forever the romantic optimist when it comes to underdogs, and I hope Alter Ego give us a damn good show.
Absolutely. I mean, I really hope that they're able to make it competitive, give our viewers a really good show, like you've mentioned. But you know what? Let's actually have a look at the map veto and see what maps they're going to be playing on. I imagine PaperX, the least they're going to do is not really give Alter Ego their best maps, but they're still going to get Haven. So, not the end of the world for them, Alter Ego. It's been a really strong map for them, a map where they have been fairly hard to beat. Next one is Fracture, picked up by PaperX. I don't even know what's up at this point because yeah, I think PaperX probably like, you know what, we should practice this map for our upcoming qualifiers. I think this would be good for us. But then there's Icebox as the decider once again, and Icebox is really the map that separates the wheat from the chaff, right? Because you've got so many teams who just like to go up A and do some weird just 5 or 4 man A push, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. if you have a mind for the game, it really shows on these maps. It
Yeah.
shows up on Haven, it shows up on Icebox, it shows up on Fracture, and this is where we really get to see both of these teams give it their best.
See, I mean, Fracture scares me, not just from like the perspective of playing, but also casting, because I think personally I've played that map, just I can count it on the digits of one hand the number of times I've actually played Fracture. Um, there are just so many cheeky angles that you can take that you have to clear. The bomb sites are cluttered AF, and it's a very chaotic map. It's a small map, and there are so many fast rotates and flank routes that are available to defenders and attackers. It makes for some really interesting plays, and communications, the comms are supreme on a map like Fracture. So Paper X picking it up. It's the first time I think I'm seeing Fracture in this tournament. It's gonna get interesting. Haven though, I've never seen Paper X play Haven. I'm not sure how good their Haven is. I guess we're gonna find out very soon. But Haven, one of those maps where it can swing either way, attack or defense, basis how you're setting up and how effective your hits are and how you've drafted this particular map. Um, I've seen a lot of double duelist setups on Haven,
Yep.
and they've done fairly well, and they've also failed to come up to the mark. So
Yep.
very good map pool, like very good map veto. Three very interesting maps, three very different maps in approach, in play style, and everything in between. And I'm excited. I'm curious, and
Yeah.
I'm mildly optimistic about Alter Ego's chances. Mildly,
Mildly. Well,
mildly.
okay, fair enough. Alter Ego, they've got a lot to show over here. They've picked up Haven, a map that has a lot of room in terms of what agents you want to pick up. Double controllers can work, double sentinels can work, double duelists can work, double anything you want can go on this map. So this map really comes down to how your team likes to play. It's really a way of expressing yourself as a roster and saying this is who we are and this is our
Yeah.
identity. Instead of looking into other people's books and stealing their homework, you really get to create something new on this one. And that's what I want to see from Alter Ego. I
And
want them to pull out something wacky.
yeah, and that's what makes Valorant such a beautiful game, right? It's the flexibility that the game affords to you, especially on certain maps, with regards to your operator picks. Like, it is a very distinct form of self-expression for every team. Like, you have double sentinels going up against double duelists. Like, do you give up the attack option, the attack initiative in favor of some defensive solidarity? Do you go with controllers that can be equally viable in attack as well as defense? Because we know Sova's going to be there regardless as one of the
Oh, yeah.
initiators. Like, this is Sova's playground. This bind, icebox, breeze, even like these maps, that they are so heavily reliant on a Sova or a Sky uh, as the primary info gatherer and initiator. Uh, but the rest of the art book, like the rest of the canvas, is pretty much blank. You can paint it as you will. Do we see paint shells? Do we see omen TPs? Do we see KJ turrets and Kinder Joys just raining on your parade 24/7? Do we get to see the odd KO come out? And yeah, we had a KO in the afternoon, and well,
Hmm.
Louvre made it work. They made it work quite brilliantly, in fact. So yeah, I mean, I think we can expect a very interesting game of Valorant.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this is probably going to be one of those maps where we see perhaps the resurgence of the Phoenix, an agent that has been
Ooh.
been really really good for this map. You've seen it pegged at the highest level of Valorant with a fair amount of success. A single-handed entry fragger that your team needs. He doesn't need anyone else to really help him out as much. But you know what? We don't have to wonder for much longer because we're going to see them pick up the agents now. Alter Ego, they've kept it fairly straightforward so far, opting for the double duelist setup with the Reyna and the Jet. Uh, Moji is going to be the one picking up the Cypher most likely. He is their designated Cypher player, very good on this map. But Paper
Mhm.
X going for the Sage and the Killjoy, something that is kind of old. It's one of those original meta picks of this map, but
Yeah.
yeah, off late we've not really been seeing this duo as much.
And I mean, not having a Cypher, I mean, yeah, the Y on that Killjoy, they do have that flank watch potential with the alarm bot and the turret, but KJ still, her mobility is fairly restricted in terms of that 40-meter radius that she needs to maintain in order for her utility to be up. Cypher doesn't have that bottleneck.
Yeah.
But Cypher does get taken out of the equation, like his utility does get taken out of the equation if he dies. But hey, this is what we were talking about, double sentinels going up against double duelists. Yay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is one of those situations where we'll get to see who's actually better. Because it's one of my firm beliefs that if you pick up a Jet and Reina at the same time, it screams that individually we are better than you. We're gonna be able to control the map. We're gonna be able to take up space. You are more than welcome to fight us. And that's where the action is. I really like it because it makes for some very interesting Valorant. It makes it a lot more active, a lot less passive. Like you've mentioned, we've all expressed our concerns over certain agent comps. But hey, enough of the theory crafting. Let's just jump straight in.
Let's just jump straight in. Pistol round coming up, and we are ready to go with this match. Best of three, first map being Haven between Alter Ego and Paper Rex. This is the upper bracket finals. And wow. Wow. Double Sentinels versus double duelists. You know, to touch upon that Reina and Jet combo, Crips and I were talking about it. Like, this is such a deadly duo to try and trade because they've got so much mobility, and that dismiss on Reina is so annoying to deal with. And there we go. Early action, early presence shown towards mid. Paper X completely giving up B, playing on the retake. Oh. Davai. 2 kills, 2 peaks, 2 kills, and there's the Jet. Mr. Forsaken, he gets one, but finally does get traded out. But look at that, in the blink of an eye, it's a 1v4. Oh, yes. Enable. Oh, just.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, well, Paper X is here to play, guys. That round was over before it even started. Like, 4-man rush down mid towards the B bomb site. Paper X just like, all right, just take the B bomb site. We don't really care. And well, there we go. 2 kills from Shiba and 1 each from Davai, Mind Freak, and Forsaken. And that's the pistol.
Yep, 30 seconds. That's all it took for the round to be over. The only casualty of war being Forsaken. This has just been, well, a quick one to say the least. But now we're going to be seeing Davai and Mind Freak actually not buy up those Spectres, instead opting for those Ghosts and full shields instead. Feeling confident about their chances in this one, considering that Alter Ego probably not going to go in for a force buy. And once again, these are the mind games, right? I mean, Paper X, they're expecting that the side of Alter Ego is going to respect them, and Alter Ego, they clearly are. They didn't get the spike down, so they can't afford to do any crazy buys.
Yep.
Where did Kush spend his money? He seems to be lacking a few hundred credits. Maybe he's bought up an owl for himself.
Probably some utility. Maybe the shock darts and the owl drone, just to give them that some info. Because, even if it's just an eco, you want to take as much economic damage as possible onto your opposition, just to stop that initial momentum from building up and keeping the opposition humble. And honestly speaking, when you're going up against someone like a Paper X, you do not want to cede too much ground, right? Like you said, give them an inch, they'll take a mile off of you. So you want to keep like tight reins on the opposition's economy so that they don't just start running away with things early on. And this being your map pick makes that early information or some sort of semblance of a ape together strong play viable. So let's see. I guess that's where the investment went.
And Paper X's lineup also, it's geared towards just that solid defense, picking up that Killjoy and Sage. This is a lineup that is meant to stop. So it's to allow Paper X to fight with full force, not really be put in a situation where their players have to be in a 1vx scenario, right? You want your players to be able to give up a side if needed, come back, do the retake. You've got the Sage, you've got the Killjoy. Very good agents. Killjoy in particular, one of the agents that is actually somewhat underrated on retakes, because nanostorms can be picked up and thrown. Very useful if you've got lineups, so you can clear out certain angles, make life very easy for you on the retake. And Cypher, perhaps an agent that somewhat lacks in that, but makes up for it with his information abilities and his ability to get info from very far across the map.
I mean, Cypher's primary utility on the attack, I'd say, would be for a flank watch, because there's no range on his kit.
Yeah.
With the camera, being very viable on post plant situations. Cages to help you cross those annoying angles, especially on Haven towards long doors. If you want to cross towards short, that Cypher cage can be very useful. Cypher cage towards garage in case you want to cross over towards the C bomb site, or B either smoking off B or A link, C or C link or A link in the B bomb site. Cypher can be very flexible in that regards, and you need one trap wire and one person to watch manually for a push from the A or the C side, and the other can be reserved for post plants. Anyway, we have the round starting. Shiba gets the, oh my god, Jing doing crazy shenanigans, gets one but does get instantly put down. Shiba still alive, still towards long, and we see a push coming in from Davai, and he's gonna get punished, but he's just got the ghost. The armor does get taken away, but it is a 3v3. This could get dicey for Paper X. I don't think they'd be expecting so many casualties so early on.
Need that back.
Yeah, and they're actually playing this quite close to the chest, right? They've got all three of their operators on different sites each, so they're kind of just hoping that they're able to run them all down. Mind Freak actually goes into the Cypher cage, still standing for the time being, is going to spam his ghost and able to find Nat. Slow down the push a little bit. Shiva looking to line them up, and there you go. Moji's going to meet his makers there. Forsaken's there for the cleanup. Couple of Spectres salvaged from that. Marshall is going to be picked up by Forsaken. Oh, wait, never mind. Mind Freak actually did not pick up a Spectre, so Jing is probably going to be strapped for cash. Well, Forsaken can drop him something, so not the end of the world, but Jing is actually just going to buy the Spectre instead. Once again, a close round for the side of Alter Ego. They almost managed to make that work, but towards the end there, Mind Freak just balls of steel on that, man. Just sticking there, walking into the Cypher cage like a boss and being like, no, that utility is not enough to force me out.
These guys, they've got zero chill. There we go. The pre-fire coming on to the bolt that never came. But yeah, there we see the operator, I think, is the Marshal still on Forsaken over towards the C bomb site. And look at Jing and Shiva. These guys, they've pushed all the way up along. The amount of information that they're getting for their team right now is very critical, because this is free information. They're not having to use any utility. It's just by virtue of their position. And Forsaken, he's gonna have to be on alert, spots out a player, and sticks around as well for good measure.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. Off of Garage, then they also were actually able to get him. Del was able to find the way to start things off. Forsaken forced to run the hell back and hide in this cloud burst while backup arrives, and he's still standing strong. He actually gets one down. What a cheeky bugger. He manages to get one, but Enable and Nats are there for the trades. And okay, Paper X actually getting bested over here. And Nats,
there we go.
There's a disrespect coming through, but Jing saying, I'm still in this. He's still got a chance. And if use the ball to create an angle for great plays coming in from Jing. And now, the hold. Peek out. Damn. Just on the money with that, Jing. Just not aware what to check first. Doomed either way.
Very smart wall though. All things said and done, a very, very smart wall. Isolating that angle, creating that 1v1 situation. So good.
Yeah. Was a bit of a... Actually, it wasn't a bonus, because you look over to Paper X's economy, they've bought up a couple of Sheriffs and just the singular Marshal on Forsaken, so they're going to be giving this round up. Alter Ego, it's going to be all about just, reducing casualties, building up the bank at this point. It's your objective is, of course, to win the round, but it's even more important to keep the economy in control, and when Enable's getting shots like those, well, yeah, your economy might not be in the place where you want it to be. Almost lines up the second one, but Kush, quicker on that Vandal. And Jing, once again, this man, he sees free real estate, he takes it.
Yep, and Jing, again with that push-up, will they be expecting a Mind Freak getting picked up elsewhere could be a problem, but the spike!
Down.
Oh, this is deadly! And, unfortunate that Jing unable to line up that shot. Now it's all down to the Killjoy. And it's a 1v3 situation, Davai with the Sheriff and a Dream. There is a gun dropped over towards Long if he wants to pick it up. It's there for the taking. And it's just a Spectre because the Vandal is being marked like a hawk. But I think he should be able to pick it up. There we go. Delve, does he get the shot? Yes, he does. 3K for him. Managing to stem the flow of bodies falling from AE, that's going to consolidate their economy, and it's going to go a long way in the rounds to come, because now there's going to be the full proper buy coming out from Paper X, and these guys, I mean, we've seen what they can do with like, you know, crappy guns. Now when they have all the big guns to play with, it has a chance of getting hairy.
Oh yeah, Paper X, you can see these guys, they're ready to rock and roll with all their weapons at the ready. 4 Vandals, by the way. You know, so clearly we know which one's the superior weapon. It's not the Phantom. But we'll see if they are actually able to line them up and put them to good use here. And early retake from the start coming in to get Nats into a good position. Hopefully find a pick, but no such luck at the moment. Some information read over to the side of Paper X. But they have no idea that this is coming. They're grouping up outside A, and Paper X are actually reading this like a B hit. No one is really pushed out, so no one really knows at the moment. Could end up using the owl drone. Moji just clicks a good old selfie, actually makes some sound. Not sure if that was picked up. Could have been heard by the Sova, but now making their way towards A.
Oh, the push coming in from Forsaken up mid. This is going to get them so much information. And there we go. The A hit comes out in earnest. Jing has to hold strong. Shiba there in with the assist, and it's 2 quick kills. And this A hit is looking like it could stand a chance of crumbling. Oh, Jing needs to be careful. Jing gets caught off guard, getting shot in the butt. It's a 3v3. Push. Jump peeking. Oh, Davai having too many targets to aim at, doesn't really hit anything but air. But Forsaken on this flank could be huge. Forsaken, trigger discipline. Spots 1, spots 2. Peekaboo, he sees you, and he is gonna click heads like nobody's business.
1 enemy remaining.
But enable brings it down to a 1v1. He's got the spike, he has to plant. Mind Freak just missing that concuss.
Planted.
And now it's gonna come down to a battle of attrition. The timer's on. Almost identical HP on both the players, and this is gonna get hairy.
Mind Freak, he's got a choice to make here. Could have gone all the way around, and that's what Enable was expecting. But instead, chooses a jump down and cleans up Enable. And there you go. There's the teabag coming in return. You don't get away with disrespecting Paper X. They're gonna get this round. Well, the economy better be cashed in soon.
We defend this reality.
That 1-2 combo from Forsaken, there's 2 1-taps, so juicy. Just tap, and the trigger discipline. They weren't expecting him to be on the flank so quickly, and the difference was made. And now, Judge out onto Forsaken. Want to see if I'm curious to see if he's going to transition into the jury and the executioner with that Judge. That gun can be devastating at close ranges.
I mean, he's hoping for it, but I wonder if he's actually going to pull out the 9s right away.
Get out of my way.
Moji, he has an inkling that something fishy could be up, so he's going to scout things out with the cam. Doesn't see anything. Not sure if the cam got shot or taken back, but there you go. There's Forsaken's knives being pulled out of here. Let's see if he can actually make some work with it. Moji is guarding that angle, and Forsaken shot square in the dome. No way he could have avoided that, and Moji gonna find some information on the back of that. Lots of information, in fact. It's gonna make the life of Alter Ego a lot easier, and they're gonna try and push to B instead. There's the Cosmic Divide coming through. Del missing every single life, and Mind Freak is able to get the kill in return. She was trying to slow the onslaught of the burst. Was unable to connect as much. Mind Freak and Jing, though, still holding. Moji and Nats get cleaned up. All of a sudden, they find themselves in a 4v2, and Alter Ego does not have the map control to make this work. Even though Enable got that cheeky kill, the train was so quick from Jing, and Mind Freak once again with a 3K.
Dude, that Astra utility usage, just stopping that hit in their tracks, and that kill onto Jet on the ulted Jet, so good from Mind Freak. And here's the thing, right? They baited that Cypher ult so well. Like, they stayed put, ready to rotate, and once that Cypher ping went through that reveals everyone where they are, they just beeline towards C, and they were lying in wait, and that hit just got decimated. The ult from the Sova, just so timely, just stopping everybody in their tracks. Oh, scary there. Davai. Oh, once again. Got shooting in no man's land, and Shiva gets taken down by Kush as well. This round is going out of hand quite quickly.
Yeah, wasn't really supposed to be in favor of Alter Ego as much, but they get greedy and they get punished. I mean, it's actually Alter Ego who punished them. And Paper X paying the price, Enable actually beating out his teammate towards the end there, but it's all worth it in the end because it's an Ego victory. All the money in the world for them to work with. And man, Alter Ego really woke up and decided to play Valorant today. They are not going to let Paper X get away with their usual stuff. They need to just make sure they're sending a message that you better bring your 100% or we're going to take this game off your hands.
Yep, I mean, Paper X cannot take it easy. These guys, Alter Ego, mean business, and they are bringing it. They're not lying down. They're not giving too much respect to Paper X. They're bringing the game to them, and it's showing. Paper X, that is a fancy dart. Love it.
Well, there you go. Once again, Alter Ego, just same mentality. Free real estate. Gets spotted, gets taken up, and that's going to get spotted out by that drone. Forced off of that position, but that's a lot of utility being forced out early on in the round. And Paper... Oh! Just as I was about to say, they don't have the weaponry. That's ridiculous. Enable will find Forsaken though, so they've created an opening towards there, and guess what? There's absolutely no one there. A retake with Sheriffs is nigh impossible for Paper X. They're going to be going up against Vandals. They've got one on Shiva, but that's about it. Wait a second, they're actually going to pop the Killjoy ultimate. They're not respecting the side of Alter Ego. They believe they can win this round, and guess what? He's going to provide the open the pudding. He finds two. Kush and Delve end up biting the dust. Moji gets detained. Oh, not the spot he wanted to be in. Leaving only the good old Astra in a 1v4, and despite one enemy remaining. Enable didn't get the memo. The party's over. They seen the guests out, and Moji is just hoping that nobody finds him in the bathroom all by his lonesome.
Oof. I mean, I thought that Forsaken was being a bit too cheeky, like dashing right under the owl drone, expecting, you know, to not run into any traffic. But hey, that shot onto the Reyna, that was filthy, dude. That was filthy. Nats feeling that well into this round, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, that peak is one of those things where you don't even know what has happened. It's like for 2 seconds you're trying to comprehend and like, oh, I got shot in the head by a sheriff. It was that quick, I think.
Yeah. Like, that's when you go and say, Wadu?
Yeah.
Okay. The vibe, there's utility. If it gets popped, could spell danger for Nats. But Nats, he's somehow managed to creep all the way towards logs. Does get spotted. Mind Freak gets the kill. An immediate response. The smoke goes up. The Molotov goes down. And that's going to stop any more pushes towards C-Long, or even the idea of pushing towards C-Long. But it looks like it is setting up to be a C hit. The drone coming in. The slow orb, though, is going to delay them for a few more seconds.
I have the spike.
Okay, Forsaken in a cheeky position, but Del bests him. Anticipating that from Forsaken. Now that one's gonna hurt. I mean, that's rubbing salt in the wounds right there. And guess what? Alter Ego actually have a chance because they were all huddled up towards B and C. Instead, they're gonna have to retake A. Got the shock darts ready to prevent the plant from coming in, and able before he even taps the spike. It's not even him with the spike. He gets taken down to 60 HP. Jing already in heaven, waiting for that smoke to dissipate as Enable gets revealed. Jing, a couple of pop shots his way. Oh, Del misses the first one. Gonna get punished. Yes, he is. Jing, shot in the kneecap, limping but still alive. And now Enable trying to hold this crossfire with Kush, but Jing is there to try and bait this one out. Trying to make sure that they have some form of advantage. Shiba gets one, turns around. Oh man, it looked like it epilepsy or something that just turns around like a madman, swings to the next head.
What is this guy's sensei, dude? The way he swung on both the players, getting, like, breaking a crossfire all by a lonesome, that is some mad respect plays. Whew, beautiful. And again, like, it was a 4v4 retake and they made it look easy. They did it with 2 people surviving. Forsaken, though, not having the best of games so far, kind of keeps getting caught out in odd angles, like, you know, angles that you wouldn't generally check and which would normally work for you. It looks like Delby and gang have done their homework and they've come prepared for these Forsaken shenanigans.
Yeah, and this is, like we talked about earlier, you know, Alter Ego, they really need to do this if they want to have any chance against Paper X. And Forsaken, he's already found a neighbor. That's a very important pick right off the bat. So they're going to be going into this one naked. No smokes to protect them. They're all going to be relying on the Sova and the Jet to do most of the heavy lifting. Forsaken gets spotted out by the Dart, but gets back in the same position. Nat's able to hear that, so should be aware, but okay! He cleans up Forsaken and Jing. Wait, Nats, he needs to check his corners. No! He's actually gonna get cleaned up. He's gonna get Delbin as well. The white feeling it goes in, but okay! Okay, I get it. Not today. Today is not Paper X's day, or is it? Oh! Because the recall in the air, but
think I don't know how to get by without money?
Rain splattered all across the wall.
Dude, die.
This is such a glorious display of just crisp, clean aim. Those sheriff headshots, ooh my, ooh la la. So beautiful. Just headshots for days. Across the board, the aim is on point.
Yeah, and I think the game has been so interesting so far. We haven't even had a chance to discuss the economy. The economy was great on Paper X, so they're still going to be able to buy despite that eco loss. Tempo's still very much in their favor, Fed, but it's going to come down to this round. If they lose it, then it's down to brass tacks, back to square one.
Yep.
And you don't want to be in that position.
There we go, baiting out that shot. I think that was the Sage's entire purpose there. But in the meantime, oh, this can get scary because the rotation's coming in from the guys in Alter Ego, whilst a lot of map control has been ensured here by leaving the Astra all the way up, pushed up long. They're just getting so much information that's going to allow them to focus more towards B and A. And I think that's what we're noticing right now, while Alter Ego makes their way in towards the B bomb site. A bit trepidatious, a bit careful, making sure they have to, you know, so many angles to clear inside B, so many off angles. And that smoke may just delay them further. And that slow orb. All right. And here we go. All hell breaks loose. And a flurry of trades. And Jing is just left-clicking away to glory and madness.
Man, goes for the rest. Jing still on the killing spree, looking for the 4K, but Chiba takes it away as Enable found that kill. Through the wall, mind you. I mean, Paper X.
Last round before the
yeah,
switch.
these guys just don't cut any corners at all, do they? This is... I don't want to be on the same server as them. I don't even want to be in the same area as them.
1 second,
No,
peeps.
not at all, dude. Not at all.
It's... I don't even think it's their map anymore. It just feels like Paper X have picked this. I mean, it's rounds like these, you know, but Alter Ego, it's still early days. If they get this round, they can still manage to make it competitive. Of course, a lot is going to be inching on the pistol in the next one, but Paper X got it in an okay position. One of the players in a Spectre, and Forsaken just standing in the middle of the gravity well. Can't get moved if you stand in the middle. Forsaken looking to go and find more to start things off. He's going to find another one, dashes the way back to safety, looking for the third, but no, Del cleans up.
Out of the
Still a
charges.
3v3 now, but the aim in favor of Paper X. Jing lined them up all again. A 3k for this man. As Jing, I mean, I've lost count of the multi-kills he's had.
Switching sides.
In one half, he's gotten 18 kills, by the way. One half. It's okay, take a breather, relax, think about it, and, you know, whenever you're ready for it.
Oof. Wow. Wow.
Wiping sweat off your brow, are you?
Dude, I'm just amazed at, like, this doesn't look like Alter Ego's map pick, right? Like the way Paper X has just decimated that attack that was mounted by Alter Ego. I'm just scared what happens now. This is second pistol round. Second half begins, and let's see. Delby, aggression early on towards A long.
Well, Paper X, they've got a W key on the keyboard. Are they going to press it?
Here.
After losing one of the players, they decide not to, and Delb now going to do them dirty the same way Jing actually did them at the start of the previous half. And he knows, look at this, he actually knows that there could be someone in that position, so he's not peeking out just yet. Shock Dart doesn't connect on anyone, but Jing still holding in the meantime, waiting for a slip up from Alter Ego. they pretty much know that there is someone in the corner over here. Does the buy respect it? Yes, he does. He checks and Delv gets cleaned up. Now a 4v4. Paper X. Are they going to go in for the 8 take? They try push. I mean, he peeks just to see what's going on. Gets his head clean off of his shoulders. Nats! Oh, man.
Not today.
Oh, this is beautiful coming out from both of these teams. Moji's going to get cleaned up. This pistol rounds, they've never been so much more fun.
Dude, who expects a Sage to be that cracked and that crazy? Climbing up on top of the wall, just taking the fight as Cypher comes in to destroy the wall, gets destroyed in turn because the Sage is just a battle Sage at this point. Holy Isa.
Oh, okay, Enable. Still here to play. Ching, keeping himself in the game. Actually does some more damage over. Takes him down low, but it's a 1v3 Enable. I mean, he's just getting bullied at this point. It's like a pack of hyenas surrounding a lion, just hounding it constantly, and there was no way on earth Enable could have clutched that one out. 9-4 now. We talked about the ever-important pistol not going the way of Alter Ego. They're now in very shaky territory here. Very tough choices to make, and they are going to go in for the eco. Just going to be Del picking up the frenzy, and everyone else going to be buying up a bit of utility. I see Moji has probably bought up a tripwire or a cage. Same for Kirsch, has probably bought up some shock darts or an owl drone, and but never mind. It looks like Delv is also going to let go of that frenzy. They're going to give this round up in hopes of bringing together a lot more in a row. Okay.
No charges left.
Forsaken. Into the side.
And then it's a mid push being met by a straight up C push. And given the fact that they do have the weapon advantage, this should be a straightforward round, even though they do have the man disadvantage. But that shock dart doesn't do any damage, doesn't matter. Jing, he's feeling it. Battle Sage has been engaged. And he's pushed up all the way towards the entrance towards CT. And he's just gonna hold down that left click button and just go absolutely ham while the rest of his team is getting all the kills. And in the meantime, it is gonna be Nats on the ace, 34 HP. Doesn't really have any orbs or anything to really recover that HP, and is going up against the Bulldog. He's gonna switch to the classic. He's closing the distance, trying to make it viable, but Shiba just Ferrari peeks around the corner, smacks Shiva upside the head, secures the round. Very close round, very chaotic round. But hey, it's 10-4, and well, at this point, Paper X have given themselves a nice cushion of rounds that even if they lose a couple, they've got that margin of error going for them.
Yeah, and I mean, Paper X is just, trying to test the waters out here. That was them knowing full well that they're quite ahead in the game. There's no need for them to be really desperate about it. So instead, they just toy with their food at this point. Alter Ego just getting played around with. Sure, they get a 4K and they, really deal a lot of damage over the economy. But
bye-bye. Indeed.
there's a lot of rounds to recover. And yeah, Del starts the recovery with that operator shot. I mean, Moji as well, just waiting for the peak to come. Not really willing to give up Garage just yet. As Del, just a little bit off on the timing there. And there you go, Forsaken. Ground towards B main, and there you go. Oh, that's all you get. 0.3 seconds. You don't hit the head, you lose, you die. Forsaken. If you get the spike down, actually it's a shock dart gets taken quite low. Actually, Forsaken's gonna jump in the air with the cloud to clean him up. Flicks over towards Moji, but Moji, quicker on the trigger, is going to be able to clean him up. Nats also finds Shiba now. A very 3v2 in their favor. Delp takes out Jing. And now it's all down to Mind Freak, who's all the way outside Garage. Gravity well to stop the push for a little while. Allows him to isolate the first fight. Get the second one though. No, he cannot. Delp holding that angle with the operator.
I mean, Delby is so clutch in that round. Just shutting down with that operator, making sure that that operator investment paid its dividends and then some, picking up the 5th round for Alter Ego and bagging a nice comfortable 3k for himself to boost. But now, considering how many people they'd lost in that first buy round, well, Paper X are on an eco. But this man Jing, the Battle Sage on 21 frags, has the Sheriff, so the pocket rocket, will it be unleashed yet again?
Yeah, that is the $1 million question. Jing, every time he has this gun, it's about as good as the operator. Only difference being at this range, at long range, it was 145 damage to the head. Very, very disappointing in that regard. Delb gets tagged, no cares in the world, still peeks out and destroys Forsaken. And now he's getting gravity welded from one direction, Cypher Cage in the other to give him some room to work with. Nice cloud burst, allows him to line up the second one, pulls out the knife.
Enemy remaining.
Looking for the last one. Divine. Okay, he shoots him straight in the head, but that's alright. Alter Ego will take that. One for the rest of Paper X. 10 to 6 now in their favor. Economy doing quite well for the side of Alter Ego, mind you. They've got a fair amount of credits stashed up. Delby or Delv is going to be able to pick up that operator once again. And there you go. A fair amount of money being saved up here. So Paper X, a lot hinging on this round. And hopefully they've gathered enough information on the back of previous ones to know how the side of Alter Ego like to set up. Because if they don't start fragging and start taking these rounds back now, you could see Alter Ego running away with this one.
Yep, their defense has looked a lot more confident and a lot surer of themselves than their offense ever did. But I mean, hey, now is the time that Paper X gets these guns out, all armed up to the teeth. And, well, a lot of map control being established early on by Alter Ego. They've pushed up towards A-Long. They're getting a lot of information. Oh, Recon Bolt reveals Jing. I have not the foggiest.
Goodbye. Mind Freak. Not gonna let him go. And the kills are actually coming in from mid of Garage that actually clears out the entirety of the seaside.
Here.
And Delby could be fighting off more than he can chew. Forsaken spot pulls on the dash as well. Before
my
Delby
days.
the second shot. He gets cleaned up there. Information being found. Forsaken is gonna be good for another Gets Kush. Leaving the old Reyna all by himself. Nats in a 1v5 scenario. You're the Reyna, you can do this because you've got the Empress. But
My days, dude, Forsaken. This man is just popping heads like they're melons on the server. He's just tossing them by the wayside. What is that movement? What is that aim? And rightfully so. Alter Ego call for a tactical timeout. They need to change something up because Forsaken right now is just taking them to the cleaners. Not just Forsaken. Let's not forget Jing, the Battle Sage. Oof. What a round. What an absolutely disgusting round from Paper X.
Paper X, it's they like sleeping giants, right? They're gonna take a cup. They're like Snorlax. You know, they sleep in one turn, they wake up in the other, they smack someone, and they go back to sleep. That's Paper X in a nutshell. That's what they've been doing for so far, and it's working. It's 11 to 6 now in their favor. Alter Ego, sure they have a bye, but they really need to think about how they're gonna pull this one off. Because Nats, while he can drop over one weapon, I believe he's gonna have to play on the light shields and probably forego some of those dismisses or leers to actually stay relevant in this round in terms of weapons.
Honestly, if I were Alter Ego right now, considering the money situation they're in, I'd be going all in because this doesn't look like it's something that you want to fight for overtime, a team that you want to go fight for overtime with 6 rounds, where there's 6 rounds to the good. And yep, the operator comes out onto Delby, who's been pretty effective with the big boomstick so far. And guns all around, mostly Moji maybe picking up. Yeah, there we go. The Sheriff with the half armor buy coming out for Moji. Everyone else has weapons, and Delby going aggressive very early on. Just maybe trying to catch some early cheeky peeks, but well, Forsaken, man's got no chill. He's just gonna W his way into the bomb site and do whatever he feels like. Look at him!
Yeah, I mean, hey, when it's his playground, he just came out here to play and he doesn't care who's on the server with him. Everything belongs to him. Mind Freak holding that garage push. And Enable, look at him, he is actually so careful about this. Forsaken will be shut down though. And there you go, Mind Freak able to chime right back by getting Enabled. And now the Cosmic Divide coming through, actually making it out so much easier for them.
Defuse the spike.
I mean, Alter Ego not really in good position. Matt will go out with the Empress, gonna find the first pick, but get quickly cleared out by Shiba. And there you go, there's the gravity allowing himself to not really get that diffuse in. The White chimes in at the last moment, gets those cleanup kills.
What are these rounds, Floki? They're just zooming by. Like, honestly, I blink and there's like 7 out of the 10 people in the server are dead, and I'm like, what just happened? What is this Adderall? What is this? How? This is just too chaotic. And like, yeah, Forsaken didn't get any kills in that previous round, but the amount of space and the amount of chaos that he caused in that backline, drawing the Sova ult out from Alter Ego, like to no avail, mind you. He hit nothing. Eh, It's just so good to watch.
Oh yeah, I mean, Forsaken, this man has absolutely no fear, also no regard for his life. He's probably gonna push the Cypher cage as well, because he doesn't respect. He dashes straight into the side. The why is he going to find Delby? Getting a bit too aggressive outside Garage. Forsaken, sure, he gets shot in the kneecaps, but he's gonna be okay for now. Still able to jump up in the air, get on those double boxes, and be a nuisance all around. Kush, he's got the sheriff. He's wheeling it like a cowboy, but Jake, what is that jump into the smoke? What?
Enemy remaining.
What the hell is going on? This is not competitive Valorant for Paper X. This is just fun.
Attackers win.
This wasn't even. This was him. This was the pick of Alter Ego. Yes, indeed. That's probably the side of Alter Ego too. They've been violated, right? Forsaken, look at them. Look at this guy. No expressions on his face. It's just
Someone-
another Thursday for him.
Someone needs to call HR, and someone needs to call HR now, because I need to report a violation, a workplace violation, because this is not right. This is not done. Yikes. What a game. What a disgusting display of skill and just sheer disrespect coming out from Paper X. They just had, like, they didn't care. They just walked in, did their thing, and walked right out. Yowza. Yowza.
Pain. That's what it was for Alter Ego. That was pain at its highest. This is so ridiculous coming in from Paper X, right? I mean, when we looked at the player cams there, when the coach is laughing, that is when you know you're screwed. It is the coach's job to keep the players in check and keep the players in tow. When the coach is laughing along with the players, yeah, Paper X, they don't even consider Alter Ego a threat. I mean, they're just like, yeah, whatever. I guess we'll go today. We'll play our BO3 and we'll go back to the 9 o'clock scrim that we have. It's a long day, guys. Let's keep moving. Ridiculous. I mean, they make it look so easy. Alter Ego just didn't have any idea what hit them. They got blindsided by a truck going at 90, 100 miles an hour.
They got hit so hard they were red mist. There's nothing, there's no identity of Alter Ego left. And see, here's the thing, it's not like Alter Ego didn't come to win. They played, they tried their level best. I'm pretty sure, like, the tactical timeout to try and maybe reevaluate and reassess could have come slightly earlier into the game. But I mean, man, just let's take a look at the highlights. Take a look at the shenanigans that this man Forsaken pulled, and not just Forsaken, Jing. Holy hell, you're a sage, man. Calm down. Look at this peak. This absolute madness. This guy just doing whatever crazy plays that comes to his mind. He's jumping through smokes, taking fights like there's no tomorrow, just laying waste to the opposition. Look, and this wall is so smart. So smart.
The best way I can summarize it is that Forsaken picked Jet and Jing was really pissed. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna pick the other Jet and I'm gonna make plays with it anyway. So Forsaken doesn't steal the limelight away from me. And look at this once again. I mean, this was, I guess you could chalk it up to being slightly more lucky because he didn't have time to connect on that headshot on the Sova. So he ends up finding the spike, but still. I mean, just being able to find those skills in such situations and then single-handedly decimating the team. Look at this 1-2. What the hell is that from Forsaken? I mean, it looks like he just spends his entire day on aim lab, just grinding out whatever the hell that circle shooting thing is. Holy moly.
Yeah, man, I think he's spending way too much time on Spider Shot or, on aim lab. Aim is just insane. Like, we saw everything from Paper X in this previous map. Like not just the fact that they're god tier aimers, but the fact that they're able to adapt to rounds, they're able to pick up thrifties when they don't have the best buy going into any round. they managed to bring back man advantages to win rounds. Shiba, that insane flick on that retake towards the A bomb site, like they just showcased. We just got a glimpse of what Paper X brings to the table, and unfortunately, like Alter Ego just could not rise to the occasion. They just got decimated.
Yeah, they basically got thrown into a meat grinder, and after that, there was really not much left of them. There was no meat, it was just a slushy of bones and sinew. And at the end of it all, Alter Ego was just like, he summed it up best. Wadu? I mean, look
What do you do, right? Like, think
Yeah.
about it. What do you do as Alter Ego? How do you switch this up? They're coming at you from everywhere. You've got a mad sage pushing smokes left, right, and center because they're just smokes. That's not a wall. I'ma push it, and then winning. Like, it's working out. Like, such YOLO plays should be punished. And Alter Ego, for all the proper plays that they tried to make, Paper X was just like W. Just
Yeah.
let's go in and just shoot. It's an FPS. Let's just shoot. And they
Yeah, I
just
feel
clicked
like-
heads.
They kept their brains on the outside for this particular matchup. They didn't even bring that into the picture over here. There was no slow, calculated plays coming in from Paper X. Maybe like 1 or maybe 2 rounds at best, I could have said that, Paper X, they really played it slow and they thought about it a little. Apart from that, it was just like, we're just better. We're gonna duel you. What you gonna do about it? I mean, it just goes on to show, right? Even when Jing was, occupying that position towards heaven on that A retake, he just did not give it up despite spotting out the operator. He was like, no, I know for a fact that even though you can peek out and one-shot me, you're probably not gonna land it, and I'm gonna shoot you in the head before you have the chance.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, Paper X just took their chances. They held their ground and they just outshot their opponents as well at the end. Like, towards the end of it, they just didn't care. They were here to win, and that's just what they did. They came, they saw, and they conquered. And now it's their map pick. Haven was Alter Ego's map pick. We're going on to Fracture, which is Paper X's map pick. I shudder to think what's going to happen. I hope Alter Ego have something planned for Fracture, because they're going to need it. Considering how comfortably Paper X managed to just wipe the board with Alter Ego, they're going to have their work cut out for them. Anyway, guys, we're going to go for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the second map in this best of 3 series between Paper X and Alter Ego. So yeah, we'll be right back.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to AMD Presents the Esports Club Showdown Valorant, powered by Red Bull. My name is Loki. Joining me for this one's going to be Fet, Paper X versus Alter Ego. First map going the way of Paper X as they school Alter Ego, show them how the map of Haven is played, make them feel like that it wasn't even their own map pick.
That was it was brutal. That watching that game just gave me PTSD. Like this is like if I were Alter Ego, I'd want to reset ASAP. Like just forget that map ever happened. Like just erase, hit the shift delete on my memory, and just go in and at least try to go into Fracture with a fresh mindset. Because the way Paper X schooled Alter Ego on that map, it wasn't even funny. It was at times it was difficult to watch because they just went in and just got stuff done, and it was over. The round was over. Like a quick flurry of kills back and forth, not even sometimes just a lineup of triple kills or just frags coming the way of Paper X, and then just everything's over. Once the dust settles, it's 2 or 3 players left alive from Paper X, and they're just walking away with another round.
Yeah, I
It
think
was-
there were very few rounds that actually went down to the wire, Fet. I feel like there was barely one round where we actually saw it go to like the 10 or 14-second mark with that much time remaining on clock. Everything else just over in a matter of around a minute. That's it.
like for lack of a better word, like the display of sheer power and domination from Paper X was more or less textbook. They're like, we're not gonna waste time here, we're just gonna go in, we're gonna run our plays, and if they get countered, well and good. If not, well, we're gonna win the round. And that's pretty much what happened. They just went in, did their thing. They didn't really care much about what the opposition was doing. And the thing is, like, it was very telltale when it was Paper X on the defense. Their pushes, they were just like, okay, we need information. What do we do? W. Like, yeah, and they're getting so many quick flanks in because of that. Forsaken with that crazy 1-2 flick early on the retake. Like he's just everywhere. And Jing pushing smokes like they don't exist. Like, you know what's the best cure for vision block? Let me just push it. I'ma see what's on the other side. Does that, gets the frags, pops back into cover, and no one's the wiser. And Alter Ego are down 2 men in the blink of an eye. And how do you play against that? What do you do? Anyway, do we see a switch up from Alter Ego?
Oh,
All
we
right,
do.
KO, the KO
Yeah.
on Nats. Interesting,
Mhm.
interesting. Pretty viable on this map, especially in regards to the early info plays that he can do with the knife. Um, Interesting pickup. I want to see how they change things up with that KO in their lineup. Uh,
Yeah.
whilst I think um, Paper X staying fairly standard. They've got that Viper. Uh,
Mhm.
they've got
They've
the
got the
Viper. They've
breach.
got the Astra. They've got the Breach. Now that man can devastate, and they've got the Cipher. They've got that Cipher can be a very good info agent on this map. And
Yep.
some of the setups that Cypher can do towards the B bomb site, you'll be hard pressed to enter. That's how powerful Cypher is on this map.
Wow. I mean, I'm quite sure Paper X, they know what they're going to be doing. So, yeah, that Cypher pickup is probably going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting, but so is everyone else. They've got the Breach, they've got the Viper, like we've talked about. This should be fairly interesting. But then again, Alter Ego is switching things up. They go for the KO instead. Probably an initiator that is about as close to a duelist as it gets. You've got those two flashes that can be lined up to, make them pop, go for
Mhm.
those pop flashes like we used to talk about. You've got Fragment, it clears out a couple of corners, just a good overall ability. And for lack of a better term, KO feels like a better version of Phoenix in some ways. I mean, sure, you don't have the firewall, but the fragment sort of serves the purpose of clearing out angles. The flashes serve the purpose of helping you enter the site. The knife gives you a fair bit of information. What else do you want? I mean, that's an entry
Like, it's
fragger and a half right there.
it's a very well-rounded character. And the thing is, right, especially those flashes, if you've played Counter-Strike for any amount of time, and at any, like, even at a semi-professional or professional level, the
Mhm.
KO flashes are very reminiscent of CSGO flashes. So if you're familiar with that mechanic, you're gonna have a very good time with KO, creating those pop flashes, working those, clearing out those corners with those pop flashes, and just creating all-round havoc. And actually, you know transitioning into a very dominant entry fragger role per se, and it is Nats playing it. He was playing the Reyna, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the previous map. There we go. Pistol round is live, and looks like it's going to be an A Halls play coming out from Paper X. The utility from Astra is going to cause them some pause, but they're just going to go for it now.
Yep, Mind Freak is going to be on the flank, making sure that there's no cheeky backstab. Or if there's someone overextended, he can get them. Forsaken cleans up Moji right away. Jing finds Delve. All of a sudden, they find themselves in a 5v3, and Nats is still huddling inside the smoke. Too scared to peek out and get his head blown up. Look at Rex. They're jumping with the ghost to try and clean up, and there you go. Mind Freak comes in from the backstab. Gets that free kill, and Naval gets tagged up by the tripwire, gets spotted out, and yeah, Alter Ego, well, they're scared for their lives. You can see that. Mind Freak trying to peek off that bot line, doesn't see anyone, does find Kush concussed up though, leaving Enable in a 1v5 and a Dream with the glass side. Tries to jump around the corner, but there's just too many people looking in his general direction, and that's it. The Fat Lady has sung, the round is over, the spike not even planted.
And once again, just the sheer disrespect. You see Jing reloading as he's peeking around the corner, and that they know is contested. It's just,
Yeah.
like, textbook pistol round. They get Hall's control. Forsaken dashes in through A main, turns around, shoots I think it was the breach back of the head, just executes him, gets control of the bomb site, and then Mind Freak pops in from the flank, gets Nats, who's the other presence, in towards the site. It's just over before you can even blink. And another fast play towards the B bomb site. These guys have got no chill. Look at where they are. There's a minute and 30 remaining on the clock.
Yeah, they've made it all the way inside B. Benkai is going to be able to find Enable, and he's reloading. Might be a little bit early for him to try and hold on, but okay, he's gonna fight 4 before he falls. Ridiculous. And then there's Mind Freak to hammer those final nails in the coffin that is Alter Ego. And there you go, they're 6 feet under. Round is over. Fresh new start. It's a brand new day for Alter Ego.
And
Can they actually stabilize?
here's the thing, right now Benkai has stepped in for Shiba, and Benkai, I think for those in the chat watching who've been following the SEA first-person shooter scene for a while, he used to play for Boot Dreamscape for the longest time, and that team was so dominant in the region, considered to be one of the best. And I think Alex is their coach, who was the same coach for Boot Dreamscape. These guys are just playing at a completely different level than what I think the Alter Ego is used to, and they're just getting decimated, man.
Oh yeah, the fourth line even comes through, and you can see, I mean, Paper X, okay, Nats is able to get the trade in at least, so even though Jing dies, they're able to find, and guess what, Benkai is going to find Nats at the end, so A side being opened up over here. Do they continue pushing, or do they actually go elsewhere? Moji trying to slow it down with that aftershock, but they've got ropes control, and guess what, they're going to be able to find Kush. No, Kush actually bests him in the duel. Forsaken, 26 points of life, no worries, he still thinks he's got the advantage. He's going to be able to hold the corner right now. Not really going in for the plant, but Alter Ego in a good spot over here. Davai, let's try and bait things out. See if we can get some information over to Forsaken to allow him to get into a better position here. And Kush.
Oh, Mind Freak.
Those angles.
Doesn't matter. Everyone is just chiming in with the kills, and you know, Forsaken's the presence of mind that Forsaken displayed there, like just dashing behind the cover, updraft to avoid the common headshot pre-fire angles. And I think Forsaken thought that he was being shot from drop, you know, through the door, but it was still the Breach who was trying to complete the trade game and secure the man advantage. But just staying alive that long and allowing Benkai to swing on the Breach just completely opens up that B bomb site and allows the rest of the team to move in, get the plants in. They don't care. They're just going to tank the fault line. Because why not? There we go. Davai opening things up. Kush 6 feet under. And they're just going up against pistols. So, I mean, these guys don't stop in rifle rounds, again, like when they're facing phantoms and vandals. Why would they stop when it's just sheriffs, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, no cause for concern for them. As they're 5-4, still playing it a little bit conservatively, but God, it's only been 30 seconds into the round and they're already on the B side. There you go, Delphi is going to get cleaned up. Two players towards tower, too afraid to peek out. Just afraid for their lives. And Forsaken around the corner, they don't want to have a look at him. Mind Freak is going to be there for the cleanup.
My ultimate is ready.
And that's 3 ults online already for the side of Paper X. My goodness, I mean, Delphi and Enable are sitting on 0 kills each in 4 rounds. Just goes to show how dominant Paper X are. It's not like they're not trying, they're really trying to understand what Paper X are doing, but Paper X, it's so monkey brain that I don't think Alter Ego are even considering this. They're just alternating their way between A and B, you know? First the A halls push, then the B3 push. First the A halls push, then the B3 push. I mean,
Let's just put this into perspective. The side of Alter Ego in 4 rounds has a total of 4 frags.
ouch.
Yeah, I mean, Paper X is just not giving them any room to breathe.
You are
They've- they've-
divided.
They've got this whole map like in a vice grip, and Alter Ego are just spending so much time running helter skelter. There we go, finally picking up the flank onto Mind Freak. That's first time that they've seized the initiative and gotten the man advantage early round. But they've got 4 very heavy hitting players from Paper X to deal with. Kush though, using underpass to get into the quick flank. Maybe. Nope. Jing has it covered. Jing has got eyes on the back of his head. Forsaken gets enabled. Now that's Reese. Oh my days. Dawai gets dealt. Moji trying to chime in with a couple of kills. But now it's just Benkai. This looks like the first round is going to be a possibility. And indeed it is. Nats gets the kill onto Benkai. The much needed release of frustration. Shooting the dead bodies. Just marking their territory right now. First round on the board, and this is what Alter Ego needs to do. More of this, less of being intimidated and playing like puppies.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like for the first time that Alter Ego actually sort of knew what they had to do and had the confidence to do it, more importantly. And they're able to pull this round through, and you can see the effect clearly. You've got 4 ultimates at the ready now. This round, I mean, even if they give up the side, it's very easy for them to retake with the help of the KO ultimate. I believe it's called the Overdrive, and Moji with the Rolling Thunder. So, I mean, Alter Ego can play this a little bit slower if they want. They try to go for some early information play. Not able to find anything, and it's going to allow Del to get into good position, but they somehow know they double peek him. Del didn't really go for the left click. They could have actually gotten 2, and Nats lines up 2. Well, if it wasn't for Del, it's going to be Nats who chimes in. And now, with the man advantage in their favor, Alter Ego, they don't really have to make moves, but they're still going to. Kush finds up Forsaken, and okay. I mean, Alter Ego, they're finally starting to wake up from their long, deep slumber.
Yeah, and
Now it's down to Mind Freak.
it's all on the back of some very good aggression coming out from Alter Ego, and they need more of this. They need to take the fight to Paper X. You give them too much respect, and as I say that, Mind Freak peeks out, gets 1 kill, is gonna try and make his way towards the bomb site, but does he realize that there is a player towards I think it's A connector? Yeah.
Give me
The
a
A
call.
drop.
I know exactly.
All right, there we go.
Oh my
no,
God.
the breach ult. That is gonna be so devastating. Everyone's caught, everyone's stunned, and everyone's dead on the side of PRX. Absolutely clutch ult, catching both the remaining players from Paper X in that, and ensuring that the round goes the way of Alter Ego. Top play there from the breach, Moji.
Yeah, my God. When you hear that thunderous "Let's go," I imagine Paper X, they probably soiled their pants. You know, they weren't ready for it. They were already in a 2v4 of sorts, but this is still Paper X you're talking about. Just because they lost a round doesn't mean that they're gonna lose their confidence. And it's really more of a marathon than it is a sprint. And Alter Ego, I hope they realize that. I hope they don't just completely blow off all the steam in these first few rounds, and then they've got no fuel left for the fire. Forsaken is just going to be holding in the meantime, respecting the Viper Wall and the pit this time, not really going for any sorts of crazy plays by going into the pit himself. Gusto peeks out of the pit and is able to find one. He even finds Jing. Paper X didn't see that coming. Delv is going to find Mind Freak. Will very happily snag that 1 kill up and back off, and let the side of Paper X slowly but surely dig their own grave as they struggle to find where Alter Ego members are.
Finally, seeing some fight coming out from Alter Ego, and I mean, they're on a roll now. They're well on their way to picking up their 3rd round. And Paper X may want to start extending some respect to their opponents and playing a little more methodically, a
Last
little
player standing.
Okay then.
Spike down,
The
B.
Vi just gets demolished. Benkai though is good for 1 kill, but he's in a 1v4 situation now. And he's gonna have to ace clutch it to win. He's gonna go push the smoke, but Delby with them. Quick flicks. Gets the final kill of that round. 3-4, just 1 casualty. Money building up on Alter Ego. This is gonna be good. And there we go. This is what we talked about, right? In Haven, when things weren't going in the favor of Alter Ego, I felt that they left this timeout a little too late. Paper X not taking any chances. They've dropped 3 rounds in a row, and now they're going to go back to the drawing board, reevaluate what's happening, and maybe try a different approach to this, because clearly Alter Ego have managed to figure out whatever Paper X were doing and are successfully shutting it down round after round.
Yeah, Paper X, they sort of need to go back to the drawing board for a second and restructure their approach. It's worked for them for 4 rounds, but now Alter Ego, they seem to be aware about their ways, and Alex, he's just looking to give his team the proper motivation, as we like to say. No more laughing, no more smiles. He's just being upfront and serious about it. And Paper X, I imagine things are about to change over here. It's going to be a while, or is it? No, they've actually got the money to buy, so we're going to be seeing them spring into the action right as the timeout ends. But yeah, Paper X, they don't wait for the lead to build for the side of Alter Ego before they take this timeout. So gonna allow them to bring the game back a little bit. Although Alter Ego, they've still probably got enough for a buy, possibly 2 remaining in the bank, if depending on how many kills they find in these few rounds. Well,
the money situation has kind of stabilized onto Alter Ego, but what's the difference now from Paper X? It looks like they're going to just bunch up all 5. They're not really going for the split push where Mindfreak was pushing from bridge towards the dish side, and the rest of the team was aggressing A from A halls and main. Looks like all 5 players are just going to bunch up and hit mains together, while Viper, that is Benkai, is watching the flank actively. I like Delby's angle here. Kind of an off angle, very difficult to clear out. But, off your feet! Oh, there we go. God. There we go.
Well, okay, they can still stop the push. Forsaken, he's taking so much damage, but he's still gonna find the headshot on Del. Doesn't matter if he's suppressed. He's got a gun, and that's all he needs. The Vandal doing all the work. Nats on his knees, begging for his life, but the Y is gonna clean him up real quick. Benkai also coming in with those kills. Jing puts Kush in his grave, and Paper X, just as that timeout ends, they are back in shape. Didn't even take them that long. Alter Ego, the money situation's fine on them. They really need to take this time to try and think about how they're gonna approach this sort of situation now, because Paper X, they have restructured. They're playing a bit more disciplined. They're not swinging like madmen or like it's the Wild Wild West. They're taking their sweet time and doing it. Forsaken, hell, he even dropped a little bit of utility at the start of the round to just get some information, and only then did the side of Paper X decide to make a play on the side. Now it's back to the old times. Forsaken, who needs utility when you've got a Vandal, right? Just go into the site, make space, and Enable is hard pressed to find the skill.
Oh, but Enable just around the corner, lurking.
Spike
Gets a decent bit of information. He's up close and personal. He needs to get out of here fast, because yeah, that's gonna happen. Benkai rises up to his location, and Benkai and Forsaken just single-handedly holding down this B bomb site, and you just don't need anyone else. Delby, all by his lonesome in a 1v5. What does he do? Can he find more frags? Yes, he can find Forsaken, and he can find Jing, but now he has to find 3 more players. Will Paper X be overconfident and just present these 1v1s? Delby, I think Delby's heard out Mindfreak, and he's okay. Paper X, they're playing a very dangerous game, but I think the clock's ticked down too much, and Delby, all he can do will be to retreat. There we go, some fine BM there from Delby, but I mean, at the end of the day, the round still goes the way of Paper X.
Absolutely, but a much-needed morale boost coming in for the side of Paper X. Just, for the side of Alter Ego. This is going to confirm that, it's not really their aim or individual skill precisely that's the problem. It's the way they're approaching, Paper X. That's what needs to change. And given the scenario, if they were in a similar situation, I'm sure Alter Ego, all the other players could have also chimed in. Nats has been looking great so far. Delby also with that 4K. Seems to be waking up, but Paper X, it's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's time for them to rise and shine again. And it's going to be once again towards the A side. This time around playing it a lot slower. And Nats, he senses something is coming from the backside. So he's going to check out Dish, but there's no one waiting there. And instead, Benkai is trying to fake towards B.
And I think he's done a very good job. He's drawn the rotation out. A is more or less empty. It's just Moji holding towards A-Link and it's just nothing that he can do right now. The entirety of Paper X is in the B bomb side. The spike's going down. All 10 players are alive still. And now, I mean, well, the retake. It's a 5v5 retake. The weaponry is not the greatest on the side of Alter Ego, but the knives have come out. Does manage to connect a few onto the defenders on the B bomb side. Jing manages to find a kill onto Nats. Jing still staying alive. Dawai, ooh, gets one, but then is instantly traded. Moji with the kill onto Jing. Mindfreak still staying alive in the bomb site. It's a 2v3 situation. And that Jet is just flying everywhere trying to secure kills.
One
the
enemy remaining.
Diffuse tries to come out, but Mindfreak through the smoke knows his lineup like the back of his hand, gets the kill, has to reload, doesn't matter. Benkai with the assist. Delb getting taken down, and there we go, Delb. You were trying to BM, and now how does it get a taste of your own medicine?
Oh yeah, I mean, just making sure that they add insult to injury to the one player who actually did a really good job of holding them off, you know, just making sure that he feels the brunt of it.
There.
Man, that's rough. I mean, Chert wasn't really around for the side of Alter Ego, but they would have liked to do some work there. Paper X, now with all the money in the world, it's just back to their old shenanigans. You know, first they go halls, then they go trees, then they go halls, and then they go trees. And then they go halls, and then they go trees.
They're just swinging, and see, that's the thing. Look at Mindfreak. He's gonna get one. Does he get more? He's all the way towards
I
bridge
know exactly.
and do you now? But Benkai, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, Floki. They're just decimating Alter Ego.
Spike planted.
That's just sad. I mean, you know, Moji is gonna try to
One
make some
enemy
work
remaining.
with the sheriff, but the Wise found Kirsch. Moji, the jig's up, or is it? Okay, that somehow salvages a Vandal in that ruckus and gets a kill with it. Now in a 1v3. If he gets another, he's actually got the Rolling Thunder, probably one of the best ultimates to 1vx the entire game, and he's found it. He's got the Rolling Thunder,
Player
but
standing.
oh wait, he's flashed. He's still gonna find Jing. 5 HP remaining. He needs to defuse the spike. Does the Viper have the lineups? No. Okay, the Viper's casually walking by. Moji does not know. He's gonna call it a day. He's done his bit. He's gotten a lot of kills, and that's all that really matters. The Rolling Thunder is up and running. Hopefully, it gets them to an 8-4. But man,
Last
if he
round
found the
in
fifth
the
one
half.
there, boy, would Alter Ego be just off of their chairs.
I mean, it's the last round of the half coming in 8-3. Looks like it could be a 9-3 half. But here's the thing, right? Paper X, I think they're taking it a little too, you know, being a bit too cavalier with their lives. Giving up so many kills in isolated 1v1s towards the end has really put a dent on their economy. Like, the money situation isn't that great, or isn't as great as you'd expect it to be for a team that's... Wait, what am I saying? I am blind. Pardon me. I was looking at Alter Ego. But like, okay, regardless, it still stands that like giving away so many frags.
Yeah.
I mean, it works. It's working because clearly you guys are just having fun and you're just messing around on the server. But it is something that maybe, you know, in terms of discipline and structure, you look at down the line. But yeah, so far so good. If it's working, why? If it ain't broke, why fix it, right?
Right. I mean, if anything, it's basically telling Alter Ego that they are actually good enough to take the fight to Paper X. It's about really getting a grasp on what they're doing. And, you know, this is actually Paper X just... well, I would say it's them finally putting their brains to work and actually using their head. But just as I say that, you know, it's once again the horse play coming in from them. Same old trick. Just Oh my god, okay.
You want to fight it?
Rolling Thunder gets used, gets them a ton of real estate. Flashpoint does not connect, but okay, there is going to be the second flash drive coming in from Natch. Gets cleaned up. Forsaken looking for the next kill, but no, he's only going to be able to tag up Delve.
Welcome to my
And he's going to dash forward actually, hoping to catch someone reloading, but Moji, all he's going to give Forsaken is some good old lead straight to the dome.
Spike
But
planted.
like, let's take a look at what that play enabled the rest of Paper X to do. They walked into an MTB bomb site.
Yeah.
Anyway, Push does get that kill onto Jing, but Mind Freak on that flank has been so effective. Gets another kill, brings it down to a
One enemy
3v3.
remaining.
Benkai in the meantime finds 2 quick kills in his Viper's pit. And now, again, in the blink of an eye, it's down to a 1v3 enable in the final round of the first half. They kind of have an inkling of where he's playing from. Benkai getting spotted out. What? But the trade, I mean, the Y doesn't even give enable the time like for that Viper pit to come down. That's
Switching
how
sides.
instantaneous that trade is. 9-3. That is, again, a dominant first half coming out of Paper X.
Yeah, I mean, Paper X, they've toyed around a fair bit, but Fracture is just, it's just their map. It doesn't seem like Alter Ego even know what they're doing at this point. You know, they're trying their best. It's not that they're not really trying. I mean, you could see they felt like they needed to take the initiative, so they let go of the Rolling Thunder. Unfortunately, all the utility that they had thrown beforehand just sort of made Paper X feel like, okay, you know what, they've got a lot of presence towards A, let's just not contest it, go towards B instead. And then Forsaken being Forsaken just stayed behind, got a kill, made space, and yeah, just bought a lot of time for the side of Paper X. Alter Ego now, in a new half, the pressure is definitely mounting, right? Because there's a 6-round deficit that you somehow need to cover up if you want to take this to a third map. But that's not going to be easy against the likes of Paper X, because this is Paper X we're talking about. You know, if they pick this map, they're going to know how to run defense on it. There are 4 people playing towards the A side with the Astra in a position where he can rotate rather quickly. Okay, it does look like one of the Paper X players has crashed for the time being, so we're gonna just quickly wait for him to boot the game back up, and as soon as he's back, we're gonna just make sure that the game is live. But for now, yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a pause coming in. Let's take this time to talk about what Alter Ego could do, right? So it is going to be them on offense. They've got the Astra, they've got themselves the breach. They've got a lot of options. And one thing that I noticed about their lineup is that they can put a lot of things on the ground. You know, you can put the Astra gravity wells, you can put the snake bites on, you've got the breach abilities as well. So right now, if they are actually able to use it to do some sort of an execute, create some sort of opening, they can very easily just get into a site and claim it for themselves without even firing a single shot.
Like, see, the thing I see from that lineup, like one of the very good wombo combos that I feel for early round aggression that can come out from Alter Ego could be a combo with the KO and the Breach. The Breach does the fault line towards Halls. Yeah, and paired with the knife, you suppress them, and then if they get stunned, you have more or less like free frags on the platter because they can't get away, they can't use their utility, and they're stunned at the same time. You can push them, get those early engagements going in your favor. But for how long, how many rounds can they do this is the question. Because Paper X are going to wise up to this. And they have their own counters. They have a counter Breach, which can do the same thing to them. And they've got a Forsaken. Right? That's the biggest equalizer here I have. Like, they've got this one mad fragger who's just going in all by his lonesome into a bomb site, pulling rotations, holding the entirety of the team onto one site, and just allowing so much room for his team. It doesn't even matter if he gets kills or not, because he's essentially winning them the rounds, because the rest of the team is able to go in, get the plant, get favorable post plants, and then just play the round out from there. And I mean, when you have such a disruptor on your team, how do you counter it? I think the core component for AE's defense, right, AE's attack right now, would be to try and neutralize Forsaken, who likes to float, who likes to get in your face, who likes to fight. How do you neutralize that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no counter for raw aggression. There's no counter for someone coming in your face and shooting you in the head with a pistol. But
Here.
Is there a counter for what Alter Ego doing? Well, it's called Mind Freak, and he's going to be able to take out Delve at least. Start things off. Nat's there for the trade, and they've found side control. But the spike is only now going to be planted, and all players from Paper X have made their way back over here. And guess what? The Viper's still on the rotate, so this is effectively a 4v3 here. They're going to have to be super conservative on the side of Alter Ego, and Paper X, they're quickly snapping up real estate. It's all down to Enable, and he whiffs Benkai. He's going to be able to find him, clean him up. Flashes being exchanged, no one's really flashed. Kush finds Forsaken, Kush finds Jing. He's actually going to be able to hold him. Thanks to that backstab, he's able to keep the team in the game with the 2v2. But Divide and his teammate Benkai, they're going to try to make this work. Moji gets found, and they know where Kush is, and Benkai! Straight to the dome.
Crispy.
Classic in accuracy, never heard of it.
Crispy. That is all. That is all. And there we go. There we go. Let's just rest our scrotums on some foreheads. It must be getting tired by now. All those frags, all those kills, all that movement. It's time for some rest. And where else but the dead and decaying corpse of your enemy? Benkai with some good old-fashioned BM. 10-3. PRX picking up the pistol, picking up the second pistol. Alter Ego made it difficult, made it, come down to a 1v1 where Benkai had to pull out all the stops and go God mode. And, well, he does deliver. And now, do we see a force buy coming out? Yes, we do. Spectres across the board, light armor, they don't have any room for error now, Alter Ego. They need to make every round count. And I think Paper X will be, oh no, my...
Your fault.
How is this team so good?
Well, dot your I's, cross your T's, and then you win the game. That's Paper X in a nutshell. Delby, though, he's looking to make some plays with the Spectre, the only person who's actually bought up on the side of Alter Ego. You're going to be looking towards him to create all those openings, but man, he's walking straight into a crossfire, and Jing is going to be able to find Del to start things off here. And now, once again, Paper X. Well, okay, they actually end up finding Spike. That is absolutely huge. And Forsaken just lines them all up. Firing squad from the side of Paper X, and there's the teabag coming through. Paper X, you don't get away with disrespecting them.
It's a group teabag, guys. It's a group teabag.
Oh yeah, they all held hands in that one.
11-3. Paper X looking like they've got Alter Ego's number because, I mean, they have to Nico. They all forced into that previous round, and right now, they cannot afford to go in for any sort of financial commitment into this next round. It looks like Del B is considering it, picks up the heavy armor, picks up the sheriff. What do? They don't have anything left in the tank.
Okay. I mean, Forsaken softens them up and Jing cleans them up. That's the combo that they're going for. What is this? Is a buy coming in from Alter Ego. No, wait, never mind. It's not. It's just a
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, they're still gonna get decimated. I mean, Alter Ego. There you go. There's the group teabag coming in once again. Win together, lose
Match
together,
point.
teabag together, teabag together, teabag together.
Oh my god, yes. That is the secret speech from Seb that no one ever heard.
Oh yeah. Little known fact. That's what the OG CS:GO roster follows.
We shall never speak of the OG CS roster ever again. Ever. There's only one OG. There's only
Yes.
one roster.
Oh boy. Yeah, well, Alter Ego, this is the last hurrah, the final chance. And what have they snapped up? Couple of Phantoms, couple of Vandals, light shields on a few of them, but full kits of utility, that's what really matters. All time being holding Forsaken,
Attacker
that has to be less than half a second. That has to be less than 30 freaking frames. How? Wait, he's gonna find another. Pulls out the nice that's Moji. He just knows that Jay is just gonna let go of the ultimate divide finds when it's all down to good old Abel, and he actually lines them up. Spots one out, playing around the corner, baiting them in, and he's actually done a decent amount of damage, and he's still quite healthy himself. There's the stars coming through, trying to create a one-way concuss in one place, gravity well in the other, turning the smoke on the other side. He's actually crossed over, and Enable's gonna find Jing, Paper X. Okay, well, they get a little bit ahead of themselves. 3-12 now, but the spike dropped in an unfavorable position. And I'm not sure if Enable has the stars to recover. Okay, he does. So he can smoke it off. Forsaken, how patient are you? Fairly patient. Enable.
I have the spike.
Can able to get the spike. Does he peek his own smoke?
30 seconds left.
Hey, yes, he does. With 30 seconds left on the clock. Okay, so this is Forsaken actually expecting him to go for the wraparound, but Enable is just walking straight into that B side. There you go, the stars
I need a
coming
subscribe
through as well. It's an interesting smoke coming in, but he's made noise. He's gonna go and stick the plan Forsaken.
10
This
seconds left.
should be an easy one.
What?
Wait, what? No!
What?
He misses! He missed! He missed! Forsaken actually whiffed! There's still a chance, and able to
Last
pull this
player
one back. He's
standing.
able to fight Forsaken. 4K for this man, trying to keep Alter Ego in the game. The why? Now with a 1v1, no to enable it. Shuts him down, Alter Ego.
Oh,
This
man.
game toyed with their feelings. XD coming out from Benkai.
Oh man, Forsaken, they're just toying with his food. He could have killed him, but he was like, nah, let me just give Mama and Davai the chance to clutch.
Defenders
Oh man.
win.
Oh man. What a game. What
Nice.
a second map in a row, a disgusting display of skill and just sheer and utter dominance from Paper X, showing Alter Ego why this is their map pick.
Yeah, in case people are curious what corporal punishment was like, at one point, this is what it is. That's Paper X basically just completely destroying the side of, well, Alter Ego, or what's left of them, you know. My goodness, Paper X, the artist, and the canvas was in the heads of Alter
It was
Ego.
the blood, guts, and viscera of Alter Ego.
Yeah.
It's just complete demolition. Like just think of what Forsaken did in that last round. Gets the opening pick onto KO in a split second flick, right?
Yeah.
Moves on over towards the bridge side, gets the op onto the jet, pulls out the knives, kills the breach, and then I'm like, how do you contend with this man? This guy is just everywhere. Like he's like the floating phantom. Like you can try to nullify him, but he's just gonna find you and kill you.
Yeah, he is, for lack of a better word, he's just in multiple places at once. He is chamber before there was a chamber. You know, you think he's here? No, he's elsewhere on the map, peeking another angle, and Paper X just show why they are to be respected in this match. You know, they started off Haven just mindlessly, right? I think that's a very fair assessment of the situation. They absolutely did not give a damn. They were just like, you know what, we're gonna stroll in. Whatever happens, happens. Jing was just like, today is my day. I'll do my best impression of a jet on a stage, and he did. Got all those kills. Paper X, they take it a bit slow in the next one. Respect their opponents, and ever since they took that time out, Fed, they didn't drop a single round.
Yeah, and like Paper X, right? They'd held back the BM for the longest time, but then once I think someone from Alter Ego drops that one teabag, that's when the gloves come off. That's like, all right, fine, cool, boys, get ready, drop trow and start squatting. they just went ham, like complete communal teammates, like the entire team getting in on the action, right? They were just pushing willy-nilly, doing whatever the hell they wanted and just getting kills left, right, and center. And let's not forget the teabags. Those were out in like a flurry everywhere.
yeah.
Every round is just, I'ma sit on your face.
Oh yeah. I mean, there were really a couple of motivating rounds for the Alter Ego where they almost clutched it. You know, the tease was there. There were so many rounds where they could have potentially found all those kills and made it more even, made it more interesting. But Paper X just said, nah, not today, son.
Not today.
Not today. Maybe some other day, in another lifetime, in another universe, perhaps. But this is our tournament. And man, does it feel bad to be that KO in that spot? Just
I know, right? Like let's just you know, call a spade a spade. Of all the matches that I've seen, Paper X have been by far a cut above the rest. Like they are in a league of their own. They're not even like it doesn't look like they are trying very hard. Like
Yeah.
they're just going in, doing their thing, having fun and winning games. Like yeah, they lose a few rounds here and there. They don't care. They're just gonna hit you right back.
oh yeah, I mean, I kind of want to break the game down and talk about the technicals. You know, talk about all the things that Paper X did that made this so interesting. But on offense, what it really just came down to was just alternating between the tree and the Hall's push, and that's all they did. That timeout, it just feels like it was just smoke and mirrors to let the side of alter ego, just try and think, okay, what the hell are they going to discuss in this timeout? What are they trying to change things up? Maybe just let the side of alter ego, like you've mentioned, just swim in their own negative juices and just soak it all in and be like, okay, how do we respond? What do we do over here? And it worked. Did Paper X, sure, they changed things up for a round or two, but that's it. I mean, apart from those 1 or 2 rounds, it was just the same strat over and over again, and Alter Ego couldn't do anything to beat that. I mean,
It was just sheer domination. Like, man, I feel bad for Alter Ego because they tried.
Yeah.
They tried to switch things up. They tried to delay pushes. They used utility. They pushed as one as well, right? In that one round where Davai gets the 4K, just playing around the boxes, just juking the incoming players, just clicking heads left, right, and center. Like, it's just Benkai is just sorry, Benkai, that was Benkai, yeah. And they're just so good at the fundamentals of first-person shooters, how to isolate angles, how to take 1vx's. That Alter Ego, no matter what they threw at Paper X, nothing stuck. It just slid right off. It's like Paper X had come slathered in Vaseline, and whatever Alter Ego tried, it just didn't bother them. They just slipped
Yeah.
right past and just devastated them. Like,
I mean, it's really hard, right? Because Paper X, the way they played this, it just seemed like Valorant was not really a game. The agents were not really actually agents. They were an extension of their own bodies. That's what it felt like. For them going around a corner, isolating a fight, moving on to the next one, especially for Forsaken, the way he played that one round with the operator, where he peeks one place, goes to the other, gets a pick, pulls out the knives. It's like he's done this a million times. It's just like one foot after the other. It's like walking, it's like breathing, it's like eating dinner. He doesn't think about it. And
not at all. Like, let's just put it plainly, it was a near perfect performance coming out from Paper X. They just did
yeah,
not look bothered like by anything Alter Ego brought to the plate. They just played their own game, and they were just that good today, like that good. And like, let's just take a look at the map recap to highlight this point as to how good they were. Haven, which was Alter Ego's map pick, 13-6. That is domination spelled out in numbers. And then you move on over to Paper X's map pick, which is Fracture, and they didn't even let them cross 5 rounds. 13-3. There was a point, ladies and gentlemen. 4 rounds in, Alter Ego had a grand total of 4 frags spread across the entire team. That is how strong Paper X started out.
yeah. And just to give them some more context on Haven as well, the first half of Haven was 8-4 already, with Paper X being on the attack. Oh wait, was it Paper X on the defense? Actually, I believe it was Paper X on defense. So
I think
yeah,
it started off with Paper X on the defense. Yes, on the defense.
yeah, I remember that one firing squad moment where Enable
Yeah.
just peeked out mid and got completely destroyed. So
Oof.
yeah, I mean, Paper X, they just really make this game look so easy, but it's not. It's not. It's not that easy. You look at Alter Ego, you look at Louvre, you look at all these teams, and when you actually look at the way they're doing things, it really feels like yeah, there's a lot of thought behind this game. There's a lot of things that you need to practice and you need to work on, and then comes Paper X, for whom this game is just a walk in the park. It's like a nice and lovely stroll. They're taking in the sights, they're breathing in the fresh air, and they don't even know that while they're walking, they're leaving behind giant craters, which is their footsteps. I mean, that's insane. They're just causing destruction everywhere they go.
Yep, I think they're yet to drop a map. They 2
Yeah.
would exploit, they 2 would Louvre, they've 2 would Alter Ego, and now they're in the grand finals. We do have the lower bracket finals, which is going to be played out between Alter Ego and Louvre. That is going to be a very interesting game because today Louvre showed some very good moves on Breeze as well as on Icebox. And Alter Ego, like after this, they will be rearing for some revenge. They want to get to that finale, and they want to prove to us, to the viewers, to Paper X, that they are legitimate contenders and not to be taken lightly, and definitely not to be teabagged to the high heavens.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's let's just cut them some more slack over here, Fed, because Alter Ego, like we talked about earlier, they underwent a complete roster overhaul.
Yeah.
This team, they haven't even played a proper match together in a tournament since October. There is literally nothing you can find on Wikipedia or the internet about this team, about any tournament that they've played before this roster. I mean,
Yeah.
before the roster haul came through. So, it's insane. I mean, the fact that Alter Ego were even able to get to this point for them, I actually think that they should consider their Haven play an achievement, going 13-6 against a team that has been to Masters Bowl and played against the very best, the tippy top of the Valorant scene. They should feel good about themselves and not
True.
let that sink in when they're up against Lua
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I honestly think that Alter Ego can treat this as a very good learning experience, grow as a squad, grow as a unit. And like you said, this is their first proper tournament as in this lineup, with this lineup in this of the avatar, right? So
Yeah.
they have, like, after they get rid of the growing pains, there's only one direction for them to go, and that is up. And so far they have had some very good games they've seen off some very tough opponents, and have made it this far into the tournament. So I mean, like, hats off to them. And
Yeah.
they can only grow from this point. So instead of getting too beat down about this loss, just shake it off, take all the learnings that you can get, see where you can improve, what you can tighten up, and then just keep growing and keep improving.
Get a good night's sleep, because you're going to be needing it tomorrow if you're Alter Ego or Lua, because you don't only have to play the BO3, you also have to play the BO5 after that. So it's a marathon, I believe. It's not a sprint, unless the BO5 is happening the day after. I'm not too sure about
I
this.
think the grand finals is on the 30th.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes
So there's a
lot.
good break for the teams to just get
Mhm.
their bearings straight and just
Yeah.
come
Come back.
completely refreshed. Yeah.
Absolutely. And whichever team it is, it's going to be needing it, be it Lua or Alter Ego. But for today, that's going to be about it. That's what we get to see. Paper X just dismantling the side of Alter Ego, and probably dismantling whatever team's going to be in front of them in the grand finals too. But we don't know who that's going to be. It's either going to be Lua or Alter Ego. And if you want to find out who's going to be in there, you need to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, check out our sponsors down in the description. Scan that QR code when it comes up so you get yourself some Red Bull. But that's it from our side today. Fet, any closing words before we bid our goodbyes?
I mean, we just witnessed something disgusting and filthy from Paper X.
Vile.
But yeah, but it was all in a good way. Like, we just, like, it was demolition, but it was like those coordinated build, like when you blow up the skyscrapers and they just fall crumbling down. There's an odd kind of visceral pleasure that sight evokes, and that's what
Mhm.
Paper X gave us, right? They just gave us a coordinated demolition of Alter Ego, and they make their way to the grand finals. They're going to be playing on the 30th. So, guys, if you want to catch the remainder of the games, and there will be amazing games of Valorant, remember to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and we'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to like. This is Fet with Floki signing off for the day. Thank you for coming, and have a good evening.